Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Atkinson is a Blue Jacket. Something I didn't really think I would ever say again. Let's see, where do we begin here? Cam Atkinson signs a one-day contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets, so he can retire a Columbus Blue Jacket, which is very nice. I feel like you don't see that too often with players that used to be Jackets. They are usually Jackets and they're done. But yeah, let's kind of talk about it here, because Cam Atkinson, obviously one of the best known Blue Jackets. We can go through his career, I feel like, a little bit, you know. They're honoring him October 16th. I don't believe it's their first home game. I think it might be their second. I'm not too sure on that, to be honest. I can't remember their schedule. But yeah, let's kind of go through his career a little bit, you know. Kind of why he is such a Blue Jackets kind of legend, you know. Yeah, my man, big deal in Columbus. He was always big deal, not for me, but, you know, he was a smaller dude. And so it's kind of cool to watch him kind of kill it. 5'8" is what he's listed on Elite Prospects. 5'8", I believe he was picked, 157th overall, I believe. I believe first got called up in the 11-12 season, where he played 27 games, scored 7 goals, had 7 assists for 14 points in his first season in Columbus. The Blue Jackets, I'm relatively sure, were not good that year, as they usually were bad. He would play those 27 games, like I said. He'd have 14 points. Pretty solid for a first-year guy. A little over half a point a game for someone who is mostly purely offense. He would then play 35 games the next season with the Blue Jackets, split between the Jackets and the Springfield Falcons, which I believe, yes, was the AHL team at the time. In the NHL, he would have 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points in those 35 games. However, in Springfield, he'd show that he had taken a step forward with 38 points in 33 games that year. Cam would then become a full-time NHLer in the 13-14 season, where he'd put up 40 points, 21 goals in 79 games. And then the next season after that, in the 14-15 season, 40 points, 22 goals in 78 games. A little bit of stagnant progress. However, he'd kind of make a bit of a leap in the 15-16 season, where he'd put up 53 points in 81 games with 27 goals. The season after that, in 16-17, he'd get his first 30-goal season, 82 games, 35 goals, 27 assists for 62 points. Huge at the time for the Jackets. 35 goals, not unheard of in a Blue Jackets uniform. Rick Nash had done it, obviously, when he won the Rocket. But 18-19, 17-18, he wouldn't necessarily take a step back. I believe he did get injured, though, with 65 games played, 46 points, 24 goals. And that was, I believe, the first season of Panarin. And then I believe Panarin would get put with Cam pretty much permanently the next year, where he would tie the Blue Jackets record for most goals in a single season with 41 goals, 28 assists, 69 points in 80 games that year. That, of course, is the year the Jackets swept Tampa. He would have 8 points in 10 playoff games there. 19-20 season, he got hurt, I believe, and the season was also shortened a little bit due to COVID. He'd play 44 games, had 26 points, a bit of a step back, but Panarin not being on your wing will do that for you. However, in the playoffs, he played 8 games and had 8 points. The guy knows how to play in the playoffs, honestly. It's pretty good. He's got pretty good playoff numbers. Poor man didn't make it to the playoffs very often, but when he did, he played very solidly. His last season with the Jackets would be in the 2020-2021 season, where he would play 56 games. That was all of the games that year. 34 points, 15 goals, 19 assists. And then I believe he would be traded to the Flyers. I don't really remember what, but he had a very good year that year, 50 points in 73 games. 23 goals, 27 assists in the 21-22 season, and then I believe would be hurt for all of the 22-23 season, came back for the 23-24 season, and was clearly not the same player, had 28 points, 13 goals in 70 games, and then would finish out his career with the Lightning where he would score 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points in 39 games. I do remember that because I believe he scored his first goal of the year, and I believe his 250th goal of his career against the Blue Jackets in that game. So that was interesting. That kind of sucked. It's nothing new for the Jackets, but yeah. Overall, Cam was a good player, a very good player. In his prime, very good. In his prime, maybe elite. I don't know if I'd go that far. 40 goals is getting there, especially before the goal scoring would pop off. In his NHL career, he'd have 489 total points in 809 games, 253 goals, 236 assists, .60 points per game. Obviously, that points per game is weighed down a little bit by his first 4 seasons. I guess that's kind of what he is. He's a .6 points per game guy. His prime with the 53, 62, 69 points was not very long. He would score 50 points again in Philadelphia, but the prime honestly wasn't long for Cam, but he is remembered as one of the Blue Jackets' best players, at least playing for the franchise. Obviously, there has been better players than Cam that have come through, but for the Blue Jackets, he is remembered as one of the best Blue Jackets. Obviously, I mean, playoff-wise, I mean, we'll go through that. He was always solid in the playoffs in 2013-14, 6 games played, 3 points. In 2016-17, 5 games played, 3 points. In 2017-18, 6 games played, 4 points. In 18-19, 10 games played, 8 points. In 19-20, 8 games played, 8 points. He was always a solid playoff performer, especially on a team that was never good in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do for like honoring Cam Atkinson. Again, I love Cam. It does kind of show a little bit where this franchise is. This is nothing against Cam at all. Okay, I love Cam Atkinson. But I mean, when Cam Atkinson is known for being one of your best players ever and didn't hit 500 career points, that's not a great reflection on your franchise. So it's nothing against Cam, that's more against the Jackets. But I'm excited to see what they do for him. I love Cam Atkinson. He was one of my favorite players when I was younger. I don't think they'll retire his number or anything. Maybe they do. I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about that. I think, though, if you do retire Cam's number further down the line, there's probably going to be better players that won't get their jersey number retired, because the Jackets are heading towards a better place than they were when Cam was a Blue Jacket. But yeah, obviously he was a part of that sweep against Tampa, tied for most goals in a single season as a Blue Jacket. I believe he has the second most goals ever as a Blue Jacket. So Cam, great Blue Jacket. Love Cam Atkinson, and I'm excited to see what they do. Also, just want to quickly mention, great for the city of Columbus. He started the Battery. Obviously great little kind of mini hockey rink for those who aren't in Columbus. It's a mini hockey rink, and then it's also got kind of like an off-ice, synthetic ice area that's great as well. Cam Atkinson, while he was a great Blue Jacket, very good Blue Jacket at least, he was great for Columbus and growing hockey in Columbus as well. Started the Battery, like the ice rink. I don't know if he started the Battery hockey team, but now there's Battery hockey team. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in there. Great for hockey in Columbus.